Hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Thursday Night Stamp Therapy. I am so happy you are joining me today. It is Thursday, April 10th, 2025. I do apologize, I'm running so late. I don't know what's going on with the time. I tried to adjust it just by 5 minutes because all of a sudden I looked up and realized it was time to start and I wasn't ready. But I'm here now, and I'm so glad you guys are joining me. It is one of those days where I just kind of got lost in what I was working on, all of the things. And then I'm doing my Thursday night scramble. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks for being patient. I think we've got some fun projects for you tonight. I really wanted to come back and focus on some of our last chance favorites. Now, we talked a lot about this last week, and I shared over 100 card ideas with you. I'm using some of these last chance things. In fact, I was just thinking I should pull some of those samples out, and I don't even know where they are. They're in the other room. But you saw them all last week, so I don't need to show them to you again, right? We're going to make some new projects tonight using some of the things that are on the last chance list. And I have to be honest, I didn't double check all of them to make sure that they were still there. So fingers crossed the things I'm showing you are still able to be purchased. You can do that all in my online store at juliedavison.com/shop. And if you order $40 or more before the 12th, what is that, Saturday, you want to make sure to use my host code one last host code. Order $40 or more and I'll send you a package of the already retired In Color Glossy Dots. These are the 2023 to 2025 In Colors. So many of you have ordered already, and I'm so excited to be sending these to you. I'll be sending them out next week, so you don't have to wait until the end of the month for this freebie. So if you'd like to get your package, go ahead and place your order at juliedavison.com/shop. Use that host code HQ9NET9S. If you order under $150 and over $40 so that you can get my freebie. So that ends on Saturday. So there's just a couple more days left to get that. Make sure you get your host code on there too, because Stampin' Up is closed on Saturdays, and so they won't be able to help you add that to your order. So tonight we are playing with some retired stuff. Like I said, some retiring things, some last chance. And I have been meaning to make this project all year long, and here we are at the end of the catalog, and I still haven't made it. It is this one right here using the Country Woods collection. I bought a bunch of these embroidery hoops, and I just thought this was so cute to make a little wall hanging. And I'm looking at it and realizing that they actually did a little bit of staining to the hoop. They used a little wood stain to color it, but we're just gonna go natural tonight because I'm not prepared to do any any sort of staining, but I think it still is gonna look so fun. And so this has a lot of fun little pieces and showcases both stamp sets that are in this suite, the Country Flowers and the Country Birdhouse. And so we are going to make that project tonight. And I've got both sets of dies, and I was die cutting some things ahead of time. And so that is one of the reasons I was late, is because I was just cutting and cutting and cutting. And so I'll talk about them as we go. We're going to do a little bit of stamping and some coloring and use some of those images. Now, do you guys have these? Do you have the Country Flowers or the Country Birdhouse, or maybe both of them? This is one of those mega suites, and it has, let me flip the page here and show you. It has 2 stamp set bundles that coordinate really nicely together, or they can go really nicely on their own. And then it also has 2 designer papers. One of them is called Country Woods, and this one for sure is going to carry over and will still be available in the new catalog. It's actually printed in the catalog. And then the other one, Country Lace, I have to double check the list on the Country Lace. Yeah, it looks like that one is going to carry over as well. If it's not pictured in the new catalog, it'll still be available online. But these colors are my inspiration for this project. So we're going to use some Petal Pink, some Misty Moonlight, some gray in there, some Crumb Cake, and just kind of do some fun things. And like I said, I've got some pieces already kind of prepped. So we are going to use this as our inspiration and do some stamping and do some coloring. And so on on our inspiration project, we're using some flowers from this set and the bird and another flower from the other one. So we're going to stamp these in Memento Black and use some Stampin' Blends to color. Now you could use anything to color. Watercolor pencils, you could do some watercoloring. Oh my word, what did I create that stained those stamps? How have I not used this bird yet? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to see if Jim can bring me, can you bring me the cards that are behind the couch, Jimmy? I have some really beautiful samples with these bundles that I think I just need to show you again. All right, I'm gonna put this aside here. We're gonna do our stamping. So we're using Memento Black, and I pulled out some colors, forgot the petal pink. Thank you, darling. Let's see if I can. Okay, I have an open ink pad. I just got focus. I gotta focus. Okay, one thing at a time. I definitely have had one of those days where I just like squirrel, you know, like I get distracted by one thing and then another. Oh, there's like a little piece of cardstock. There we go. Oh, oh my gosh, let's try again. There was like a little spot that didn't stamp all the way because the cardstock was in the way. That's better. All right, we're gonna stamp our flowers. We're gonna stamp our bird. The bird is a little scary. It's intimidating because it has a lot of like open spaces, and it looks like our inspiration, they did a little blending with the bird, and they did some pool party, and then also some misty moonlight too. Okay, this is why I find coloring on camera so stressful, is because I'm just not patient enough. I don't go slow enough. Oh, that's Night of Navy. Is there a misty moonlight? That's not the right color. I don't know if we have a misty moonlight marker. I'm going to use the light Night of Navy. Let's see how this turns out. We can always stamp another one. And we can always use our color lifter to take some of the color away. This is very dark. Let's get out the color lifter. I don't know if it's accurate as far as the colors of a bird go, but I think it's pretty. Using some daffodil for the feet and the beak. I know, it's kind of pretty, right? The other one is definitely a lot lighter. And that one uses a lot of there's some gray granite or maybe some smoky slate. I think I'm gonna use crumb cake. Trying to get all the colors just right is interesting. Actually, I'm gonna bring in some wild wheat. I should have used that for the feet. I'm gonna just kind of darken that up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna use wild wheat for the leaves here because it's a little closer to green. And I have some wild wheat already in the die cuts that I think will tie in nicely. When you're picking colors for your projects, how do you decide on a color combination? Oops, that's not a leaf, that's a flower petal. I'm just gonna try to lift that color there with the color lifter. How do you choose colors? I find a lot of my inspiration in designer paper. And so even paper like this, I mean, I kind of pulled some of those petal pinks and some of those other colors. All right, I'm going to do speaking of petal pink, I'm gonna do this big flower in petal pink. And these little roses too. That's so different. I flipped sides and the one side of the marker is really dark and the other is super, super light. I don't mind it though. And let's do pink over here too. I love the Stampin' Blends because I feel like it's so easy to add some shading, and I feel like an artist, you know, like I don't have to, you know what, they're both dark. That's interesting. Where's my light pool party? Balmy blue. That's so dark. I bet I accidentally threw away my light. That's unfortunate. We have two darks and no light pool party. But we're just gonna go for it. We'll use that dark in the middle. We have one more over here. One more rose. One more leaf. And you know what this all needs is a healthy dose of some Winkostella. Now I have two of them. Nay, make that three. Which one is this is the oldest, I think. I think these are the newer ones. And under my lights, I'm trying to figure out which one has the most in it. Oh, I know that you can't see the Winkostella very well on camera, but it just adds kind of a really beautiful sparkle to everything. There's always room for Jello, and there's always room for Winkostella. Can you see it? It's sort of hard to see. I just did get some new Stampin' Blends, Margot. In fact, I thought I got new pool party, so that's why I'm a little bit worried. Because if I threw away a new marker, I might scream. I don't know if I can handle that. Let's get out our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and find our dies. Oh, I was gonna look for samples really quick. Let's see. Those are not the right ones. And the other ones are down here. So beautiful. So pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh, look at this one. This one was from Jill Pace. She used the exposed brick wall, some die cut flowers, and a cute little bird. I love the red breast. That's what I should have done. Here's one with the country flowers that I created. So these are the same flowers I just colored. I like that better. Another version of the same card. Here's one from Sandy Jacobson. Really pretty. I love all the white on this one. And then this one from Bonnie McGrew. So pretty. And this one from Karen Nevin. And I love that she made a bird bath with the birdhouse. With the bottom of the birdhouse, there's a die. And so she just used it on the stand to make a bird bath. So clever. So clever. Okay, back to die cutting. I uncovered our dies. We're going to use this one for the flowers. And from this, we need the bird. And actually, I just realized I also need to do the circles. Oh, at least one of them anyway. And this flower die. So many dies in this set. That's so exciting. I always like when there's a lot of dies. Oh my gosh, Tony, what a fun idea. She said that she used the birdhouse to make a dog house. That is clever. What other kind of houses could you make with the birdhouse? I feel like I saw somebody do a gingerbread house. That would be cute. Let's brainstorm a little bit. It's always fun to think about different ways to think outside the box and get the most out of your stamps and dies. I think we can fit these all on at the same time. I'm not loving my bird, but he's gonna have to be good enough. All right, let's send these through. Oh, I should have done that circle at the same time. I'm gonna send this circle back through. And I used some early espresso for that. Well, the other elements. And I think we've got one more thing to stamp, and then I think we'll be ready. Oh, why is that? Why does it have a hole in it? Okay, that's not what I thought I was gonna do. So let's take our circle and we're gonna cut a hole in the center, and then we'll use some brown cardstock behind it to make the hole. The kids, when they were younger, they went to, oh, this is gonna smash the eyelet. Oh man. Oh, do you see what it did? I tried to die cut ahead of time, and then I sent it through the embossing machine, or the embossing folder. And because I die cut it again, I smashed the embossing. So let's do it again. I want this to look nice. Gotta get it just right. Okay, so we're gonna get out the big die. And die cuts the whole image. I was starting to tell you. The kids one year in camp made a birdhouse out of a gourd, and they painted it, and we hung it in the tree, and when we moved, we brought it with, and we hung it in the tree, and it's still there. All the paint has worn off, and so it blends in. It blends in with the tree trunk now, and you hardly even know it's there. But I'm so excited to see that there is a bird making a nest in it this year. I think they have for the last many years, but it just makes me happy that they're using that little birdhouse, an old gourd that's probably, I don't know, I guess it wouldn't be totally rot because it's still there. So we made our hole and our birdhouse at the same time. And now I'm going to take this and send it through with the eyelet embossing folder. This is the eyelet embossing folder, and it does carry over. This one is so dainty. It's so pretty. And so if you don't have it yet, I think it's a really fun one to get. So we're going to send that through on my big machine. Down on the floor. There we go. Okay, I think we've got all the pieces now. So let's stay together, loving you weather. Let's see. We're gonna put our dies back so we don't lose them. Oops, that one fell out. That reminds me, we've got to do a little stamping on that piece, the little scallop. Okay, our stamped pieces. See, I'm glad I did a little die cutting ahead of time because this project is really, really tedious, but I think it's going to be so worth it when we get it all done. Okay, we don't want to lose these either. The bird and the flowers go in here. And the other flowers go in here. While I have this out, I die cut flowers and leaves. And I did that in both blue and pink. And then I die cut some other pieces that are part of the birdhouse. All of those came with the country birdhouse. And then the stand from the country birdhouse. And all these other flowers I did Wild Wheat and Misty Moonlight, and those all came from the birdhouse dies as well. Okay, we have our scrap, and we want to put a scrap behind here. So I'm gonna just glue that down to cover the hole since the other one had a hole in it. Chickadee houses. Oh, Sherry, I love that. She said her father-in-law made us 4 chickadee houses and sent them during COVID, and they've had them in their tree and get chickadees every year. We had a little bird that was trying to set up a nest on our front porch light by the front door, and we have had birds in the neighborhood dive bomb when you get too close to their nest, and so Jim and I kept just knocking it down every time we saw all the grass and things that they were trying to do. We just kept knocking it down, knocking it down. We've got birds that have nests in the back, you know, by the back patio door, and that one, you know, we don't go in and out of very often, so that was fine. But this one, we go in and out so often. I didn't want to bother the birds, and I didn't want the birds to be bothered by us. Let's do, the original uses, like, I think gray granite. So I was trying to decide between crumb cake and early espresso. This is a little pattern that's going to go on the scallop. So kind of like that, you know, oh, what do you call it? On a, I want to say icing cookie, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm asking crumb cake or early espresso. What color should we use for that scallop design? A lighter or a darker color? I feel like the early espresso maybe is just going to go with some of the other pieces. So let's do that darker. And that's going to fit right there on the scallop. That's such a fun little detail, isn't it? Gingerbread, thank you. Some days I got all the words and some days I just can't think of it. Thank you, Karen. Gingerbread trim. And Lynn as well. Okay. So we have our little gingerbread trim. our decorated bits. And so we're going to use some liquid glue to attach some of these things and build our birdhouse. I also had, I had one more piece that, for the bottom that I die cut from the designer paper. I see the hole for it, but what did I do with the actual die cut piece? I wonder if it's still in the die. Nope. Okay, we'll just have to die cut another one. That's definitely going to need something to hold it down. Oh, I like that idea. Janice had suggested using blue for the gingerbread trim, but I already did it in brown. Sorry. Okay. I remember now why I put this off for so long because it is so tedious. Yeah, so the tape I'm using is the Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. And it is like it's just sticky enough to hold down the dies, but it comes up and doesn't affect the cardstock. So it is really ideal for holding down dies, and I love it so very much. I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to add that just because it seems like it, you know, should be a little ledge that sticks out. But I am going to use some, I'm going to use some liquid glue to attach the other pieces. So this whole birdhouse frame, has the spot for all the things. So we're going to just layer on top of it. I'm going to do that roof, that top part. Then I'm going to add the gingerbread, and then this is going to just kind of bridge the two. Nest that right up in there. And so it really just kind of takes all the guesswork out of like where it needs to go and how to line it up, because you're just going right over the entire form. Yes, it is definitely reusable. A lot of times I keep it on my, on the handle of my die cutting machine. Okay, then this really skinny one goes right in between to kind of cover up that seam a little bit. So pretty. I love this. Okay, so we've got our birdhouse done, and then all of these are going to kind of collage together and all the things. So before we can collage all the things, we need our background, and that is going to be the frame. And on the frame, we are going to add some of the designer paper to the background. And so I think the easiest thing that we're going to do here is to first cut it. And so I'm going to use a pencil and kind of trace. And then cut, And I'm going to go just a bit inside the circle so that I don't have any hanging over the edge. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue to glue the frame on there. And so to make sure that I'm getting the right spot, I'm going to use the glue on the paper, because I think that in some places the paper doesn't go all the way to the edge. And so I'm worried that if I put the glue on the frame, that it won't in fact, right here I'm a little bit coming inside. So if you want a cleaner back, you could add another piece of paper back there. I started with a piece that was 6 by 6, so it was just a little bit shy to go around the entire diameter. And that is not straight. That's the joy of liquid glue, I guess, right? We get to pick it up and move it over. Is one side the back or the front? I don't think it matters. Okay, so we have our background on there. What diameter is the frame? I knew you were going to ask me. I already peeled the sticker off earlier. It is, the inside is 5 3/4 and the outside is 6 5/8. I bought them so long ago. I have a pile of them because I was like, oh, this is so fun. I'm going to make them with Mom and we're going to, like, you know, just have so much fun making a bunch of these. And I never did. So now I'll have to come up with another little project to make with some of the other frames. Okay, so we are going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to add this to the frame. Maybe I'll use some regular, oh, it goes the other way, doesn't it? Like that. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use some liquid glue to add this part, and then Stampin' Dimensionals to add the birdhouse. Kind of make sure that's right centered. Some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we have a lot of things here that we're going to add with Stampin' Dimensionals and liquid glue, and get all of our elements in there. Now I have two choices for the ribbon to kind of make a hanger for the top, and I think this ribbon is part of the suite too. It includes petal pink and basic white. So I know we're thinking ahead a little bit here, but what color should I tie at the top for our frame? Okay, we have some leaves and some flowers and some leaves and some flowers, and then this big one. I guess I should have put that down first, maybe. Just trying to lay it all out here. And then I wanted to tie in some of the wild wheat color. I brought in some of the darker blues. It's looking really busy, but I like it. I think we just need to lift up the birdhouse a smidge for these flowers. Or I need to cut the flowers and tuck it. I will do that. Ah! that feels painful, doesn't it? To cut something that's finished and die cut, but we're gonna run it right underneath, and so it'll be okay. See, you can't even tell. You can't even tell that I cut it. Okay, let's have a few of these flowers coming out from under there. And do I have some mini dimensionals? I want to create some different depths, and so we'll add and I have some blue leaves. So pretty, it's coming together. Janice says her husband keeps finding those paper backings from the Stampin' Dimensionals all over the house. They do just multiply. They're like little bunnies. I always find them stuck to my shoe or stuck everywhere. I just remembered this project had some pearls. We'll have to get those out when we fill out the other side over here. I do feel like there's a lot of pink here. We already have the pink house. And so I don't know if that's just too much pink. We do have that stamped flower. Oh, we also have, you know what? I'm still going to put that down though, I think. And some of the light blue flowers. This has got to be one of the most tedious projects I think I've ever done. But it's so pretty. I'm loving it. Let's do another little pop-up. And then this flower, the stamped one, I think kind of right there. Maybe we could use a little bit of the pink leaves. I almost wish I put some extra dimensionals on the house just to like really pop it up a little more, but I think that's looking really good. Let's get out some pearls. Now today I went through my embellishments, and I was organizing the ones that carry over and the ones that don't. Oh my gosh, ooh, these would be really pretty. These are the antique pearls that go with the storybook moments. I like that. Oh, okay, the original project used the smoky pearls, which I don't know if I like those. But look at this, I found butterflies or birds. Well, the birds are not the right, what do you call it? Proportion. The butterflies, perhaps. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 things to vote on. We don't need to pull out more options. We have butterflies. We have, these are just different colored pearls. These are the adhesive backed pearl trio. And so there's sort of more of a bluish one. I think that's the one that I would use, and I could put a couple in there. Or we have the antique pearls, which are a little bit yellowish. Maybe it would pick up some of the wild wheat a little bit. So I'm backwards here, but 1, 2, 3, butterflies, pearls, or antique. Thank you so much, Tony. And then we also need to have a vote on the ribbon, unless I missed your vote on the ribbon, what color we should use there. Just so many options. Okay, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2. I'm seeing a lot of 2s. Let's go with the 2s. I think these are going to be really pretty. And all of the options would be amazing, so I don't think that you could go wrong. These almost remind me of the new Secret Sea color. And so these are going to be really pretty. Oh, I like that. I didn't think about putting them in the middle of the flowers, but I was just going to kind of put them so many. I'm gonna stop there. Misty Moonlight ribbon. Ooh, I like that. Do I have Misty Moonlight ribbon? That is the question. Let me check and see really quick. I don't have any Misty Moonlight ribbon, but in the new catalog, there's a new like starter pack of ribbon that has 2 yards of white and 2 yards of, I think it's Misty Moonlight, and I'm excited to see what that packaging looks like. So it's just like a taste of ribbon, not a lot. Now, one thing you could do, of course, is you could make your own ribbon color by coloring the white ribbon. And so if we wanted to, we could do that. And we could color this. So I guess that's a third option for the ribbon. I don't know. I feel like I like the white ribbon. You guys like the blue? So pink ribbon, white ribbon, blue ribbon. I really am so undecided on this. I'm feeling white or blue, I think, as well. And with the blue, I worry like that the other side doesn't look so good, which you could then just color the other side of it. Now I'm using the light Night of Navy Stampin' Blend to color the ribbon. And because it's the lighter one, I think it looks like a little bit more misty moonlight. Now the alcohol does dry pretty fast, but it could still be a little bit messy while it's drying, so just be careful of that. I don't know if that's what I intended to do, but that's what I ended up doing. So, I don't know. I like it though, I think. And I'll just use some scissors to cut that out. Andrea thinks the blue stands too much out in the design now. I don't know. You could go with any of them. I might change my mind later. As I have been known to do. Let me bring out the original project in the catalog and let's take a look. So they actually used a little bit of white and just kind of did a loop. And I do think that the colors are a little brighter here in person, but I used a lot of the similar colors that they used there. They did a lot of watercoloring on some of these die cut flowers, and I just did the straight cardstock. And so my bird also is a lot darker there, but very, very similar. You know, I love to copy the catalog and case it, and that's exactly what I did tonight. Finally, with this country birdhouse, I've been wanting to make that for a while, and I'm so glad that I did. I love the way that turned out. So many pieces, so many little die cuts, but very worth it. Well, for our next project, we're going to breeze right through this one. It's going to be so much more quick and easy, clean and simple here. But this is one that also was catching my eye, and it uses one of my favorite punches that is going to retire. And it's not the Keeping Tabs punch, because that punch is going to carry over, as is Labeled with Love. If you like the die version of either of these though, make sure that you get it, because the dies are going away, but the punches do carry over. So my favorite punch actually, are we frozen? Uh-oh. Not frozen? Oh, so weird. On my screen, we're frozen, so I'm just gonna reload. That's weird. Not frozen. Okay. Something is wrong with my computer. I won't be able to see your comments if I'm frozen over here. Okay, I'll just stand for a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on, but you guys say we're not frozen, so let's keep going. Punches are staying, dies are going away, but my favorite punch on this project is the Petal Park punch. I love this one for some quick and easy embellishments, and so I want to give that one last hurrah, and I thought this project was really fun. It's kind of clean and simple, using the Keeping Tabs stamp set, and we're going to use that punch as well. Now let's see, I've got stuff everywhere. What did I do with that stamp set? Oh, under here. Okay, so I want to use In Colors for our card and give those one last hurrah. Also, I wanted to use the In Color dots that you can get for free when you order between April 1st and 12th, which is Saturday, $40 or more. That's a gift from me. It's not something that Stampin' Up! Is offering. So you can get that in my online store when you order $40 or more. Then I will send it to you. It looks like I'm unfrozen. Okay, so I need help deciding colors. Now I did double check, and I know Mom said the boho blue cardstock is sold out, but the assortment package of In Color cardstock is still available. So if you don't have it yet, you can still get some boho blue cardstock. It's not too late. So I thought I would have you guys help me out on the colors for our card. We're going to make this card right here. So we need a color for the card base, and that's going to be the same color as our stamp with the stripes. And then the flowers are going to be a different color. So we could do some like boho blue if we like that for the card base, and then we could do Moody Mauve with Wild Wheat Leaves, or we could do Copper Clay with Wild Wheat, or we could do a Pebbled Path card base with Copper Clay or Wild Wheat. Oh, there's so many pretty combinations. I think I actually like that. Okay, so we're going to do Moody Mauve leaf, or flowers, Wild Wheat leaves, and you guys pick the card base color. Should it be Pebbled Path, or should it be boho blue? And I have a feeling, I know what you guys might pick, just on the basis of favorite colors. I know, I'm gonna miss boho blue too. It is such a pretty blue. The new one, the Secret Sky, is a lot more gray than boho blue, but I think it's still going to be really, really pretty. Pebbled Path. I know, I agree with you, Sherry. I really think Pebbled Path should join the neutrals too. Okay, I've got one each of my cardstock colors here. So let's do boho blue for our card base. Sorry, I was reaching for my scraps for the other colors. Okay, we're gonna do, I think they used this small flower a bunch of times. And of course, when I say a bunch, I mean 5, because you gotta have an odd number. And then the leaves, we're going to punch. How many leaves do we need? Let's see, 1, 2, 3 leaves. Again, an odd number. 1, 2, 3. Our card base, we are going to do 4 1/4. Score and cut at 5 1/2. 2 card bases. Some white cardstock. We are going to stamp we're going to do this 2 times. And we're going to punch it out with the Keeping Tabs punch. This is such a handy one. Do you see here how they have made some tabs for a notebook? Even if you don't have the coordinating stamp set, I think this is going to be such a handy punch to use for all kinds of things. And so if you don't have it yet, you can get it right now. And then we're going to cut these apart. And just kind of a real subtle, try to keep that arch. We need 2 that are solid and 1 that has the spot for the words. And I kind of did that really fast, but if you keep them together, the idea is that you can make a tab that has that folds over and has 2 sides. So you can fold it like that, and so you can have a label on one side and it still looks pretty on the other side. Isn't that fun? I love that. Let's do the Pebbled Path for the happy birthday. It is such a great alternative to black. Like, it still stands out, but it's a little bit softer, which I like. Okay, our card, I told you this one was going to be fast. We have our little pieces here. These are going to go in the center. And then we have the flowers. So we're going to put these on with dimensionals, and then we're going to tuck the flowers and the leaves in and around. Now I want to add centers to my flowers. So help me choose with the In Color Glossy Dots. I could bring in some of the Pebbled Path, the darker color, or I could do the same color, which would Moody Mauve on Moody Mauve, or I could do blue and tie in some of that blue again. I don't think I like the blue. So either Moody Mauve or Wild or Pebbled Path. Wild Wheat, I could use that one too, but since that's the color of the leaves, maybe that would look weird. I don't know. I guess you tell me. Vote for your favorite while I'm doing the dimensionals here on the tabs. And this kind of reminds me of one of our new kits. This afternoon I put together 2 of the new kits collections, and so I'll show those to you next and give you a little review of my favorites. And I have to say I'm a little surprised by which one is my favorite. In fact, I ordered 2 of one and only 1 of the other, and I wish that I had done the opposite. Isn't that funny? Okay, so let's do the happy birthday right in the middle, and I'm just going to go right in the center of the card. If you want to, you could use grid paper or ruler to be exact, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then 1 below, 1 above. Kind of boring, but we're going to get those flowers on there. And I think a lot of you are saying Pebbled Path for the center, so let's do that. And just a reminder, you can get those In Color Glossy Dots for free as a gift from me when you order $40 or more April 1st through the 12th. Make sure you use that host code HQ9NET9S. And you can shop with me at juliedavison.com/shop. So let's get these in here. I am going to do this one kind of in between. Let's get the glue dots out. punches are so easy. I was just thinking about, like, if the last project had punches, that project would have been so much faster. But punches also don't look as detailed and beautiful as the die cut pieces that we used. So you can't go wrong. I'm using the catalog as inspiration. And then I'm going to use a dimensional to give this one a little bit more depth. And then one last one. Oops, we still have a leaf. Last flower to peek out from under there. And a last leaf to peek out from there. Let's take a look at our inspiration. The original project used Azure Afternoon, Pretty in Pink, and Shy Shamrock. Those are just my guesses, but I think I'm pretty close. Our card used some of those retiring in colors, the Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Wild Wheat. What do you think? Is this a card that you would make? Or maybe it's a little bit too simple, too easy for you. I think the punches make it so much easier. And so if you don't have that Petal Park Builder punch, it has 3 different flower sizes in it and 1 leaf, and I think it's so versatile. Even if you don't have a stamp set that goes with it, there is not currently a stamp set that goes with it. There used to be a while ago, but the punch is really great on its own to add flowers just like this. And of course, that Keeping Tab stamp set is retiring. It's on the last chance list, so make sure you get that before it goes away too. Let me show you some of these new kits. We had 2 brand new kits that started 3 brand new kits that started in April. And 2 of them were card kits. And the third one was the paper bouquet. I think I have a picture. Here's the bouquet. I haven't put it together yet, but I love it. And if you didn't already know this, I learned that the colors of the flowers are in colors. The new ones: Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Strawberry Slush, Cloud Cover for that light blue, and I think a little bit of Secret Sea in the middle. It's so pretty. Tip Top Taupe. Oh, that was a good color, Sherry. All right, let's take a look at these. We're going to start with the one that I was not impressed with. This is called the Essential Occasions Kit. It includes materials to make 6 different cards. Both of these do not have any stamping. This one has 6 different cards, 1 of each. And the reason I'm disappointed with this one, if I can be honest with you, is that I just don't care for this craft style card and envelope. I feel like it just feels a little bit cheap. And so the envelopes all have that craft style, and the card bases too, and they're thick, like they're not too thin, but I don't know, they just kind of curl funny, and they just feel, I don't know, they just feel cheap to me a little bit. But the cards are really cute. They have some pre-printed designs. And so again, this is not a stamping kit. So we have the thank you card. We have this one that says, so glad to have you in my life. And I do like the layering and the fun little die cuts, the fringe here and the fun little corners. I think the colors are really great. There's a little bit of Strawberry Slush in here, some pretty peacock and Pool Party, maybe some Timid Tiger in here. This one was really kind of fun. It wraps around the circle. And I think that the variety of greetings is really great. So we've got congratulations, thinking of you, happy birthday, so glad to have you in my life, thank you, and I love you with the roses. So this is the one I thought, oh, it's so great. It would make up a really nice set to give as a gift because it has just a lot of different like occasions in it. And they're fun and cute and quick. But I just wasn't impressed overall with the quality. I just thought that the craft envelopes and card bases, I don't know, they're okay, but I just wasn't a fan. And maybe it was because I did the other kit first and I love the other kit so much more. So here's the other one. This one is called Loveliest Wishes, and I could tell right off the bat that this one, the picture wouldn't do it justice. We found this with another card kit that came out recently. It just looks so washed out, but let me tell you, first of all, Loveliest Wishes kit. I'll add the link to the video description so you can check it out. Loveliest Wishes kit is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So this card in particular reminds me of the one that we just made because it has kind of the 3 different elements. And this has I feel like very high quality card bases, very thick. They feel really nice. White card bases, and then this sort of like linen, almost watercolor paper on top that has a gorgeous texture to it. These pieces are pre-printed with gold foil that really just elevate these cards and make them so sweet and beautiful. So even though the card designs themselves are very simple, I just felt like these cards were very elegant and just really, really nice. This kit makes 3 different designs and you get 3 of each card. Now this one didn't have any of that layer. It just was right on the white card base. But again, I just felt like the card base was really, really nice and heavy. There's some vellum die cuts and other laser cut pieces, the gold foil. This one had some gold gems on it. And I just thought that this kit is just so gorgeous. And like I said, the photos don't do it justice. Here's a happy birthday one, and it does have that layer of that kind of like linen paper, which has some pre-printed gold foil specks on it. And then this little vellum is a printed vellum piece. And again, with the foil, I just thought these cards were just so elevated and beautiful. And then the envelopes are that sort of same like linen kind of material. And so again, I just thought they were really, really super nice. I know. So I think you definitely need this one, Sherry, and everyone who's watching. It is so gorgeous. This one reminds me of the thank you card kit that we had. I'm gonna go grab it really quick. Hold on, I keep samples of all the card kits. This one, if you got this one before, this was a recent kit, maybe January, February. It reminded me of the quality of this one too, and these pictures didn't do this kit justice. I don't remember the name of this one, but I'll link it up in the video description. It has the same envelopes. This one has the gold liner on it. There were just 2 designs in this one, and they were both thank you cards, but they kind of had the laser cut flower and the leaf. So this is a separate kit, but it reminds me of the same quality of the pieces. So this one's called Loveliest Wishes, and I don't think that you'll be disappointed if you get it. It truly is so beautiful. This is a square card, and so it does have a square envelope, and just a heads up that square envelopes do require additional postage, so you'll need a non-machinable stamp in the United States for mailing a square card. But I think this one is so beautiful, and because there's no stamping in it, it does have a lower price point. I want to say it's like $14 or something. It is worth every penny, I think. So this one makes 9 cards. And they're all like birthday wishes, happy birthday, and cheers. This one's my favorite. I just think that little daisy flower is just so precious and so pretty. Tony says she added a layer of colored cardstock to the cards to really make them pop. I think that that would be beautiful. There's a little petal pink in here, and I could totally see that on petal pink cardstock. I made them up just as they were designed, and I like the white on white. I think it's really a really classic and beautiful look and feel. But obviously with the kits, you can kind of mix them up and, you know, do your own thing and make them your own. So this is a keeper for sure. Loveliest Wishes. And the other one, it was okay. Essential Occasions. It was okay. Like I said, it wasn't a favorite, and I wish that I had gotten a second one of the other one. I should have known better. But this is still fun, and I think the colors are really bright, and obviously I'm still going to send them, so you can't go wrong when it comes to making cards. And I just remembered I haven't been keeping track of all the cards I made, but I just made 9 plus 6. What's that? 9 plus 6 is 15. I made 15 more cards today. We have another card we're going to make. We're just going to keep rolling. I promised you 3. And I really wanted to do this card that I shared last time. This one was from Terry Biggs. She is the Bistro Burger, which is on the last chance list. So if you love that fun stamp and coordinating dies, make sure that you get it. But this little flip flap with the designer paper, I thought we've got to do this. And so I was trying to pick out a stamp set, and Adventurous Sky is one that I have enjoyed using. Now, the bundle with the airplanes is going to be discontinued. It's going away. Boo-hoo. But the designer paper does carry over, which I think is interesting because it's got some copper clay in it and some boho blue in it, and those are retiring colors. So, but I've still got them, so we're going to make them up today. So I was thinking that we would do these two, some of my favorite patterns on this, and I did measure these pieces. I'm going to have to get out my my larger pack of cardstock so we can cut a bigger piece. And you'll have to forgive me, I don't have this card prepared, so we're gonna have to prepare it together. We'll have to see how much I have of that one pattern. Oh, good, I'm good. I loved this paper so much, and this one was my favorite pattern. I just love the composition and the colors. So let's see here. We have the outside is going to be the airplanes, and that one is 4 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut 4 inches by 4 3/4, and then I'm going to score, and I got to pay attention to the airplanes. I'm going to score 1 5/8 inch from the top, and so I want that to be, that's not 1 5/8 inch. That's 5/8 inch. Oh, Julie. Okay, 4 3/4 and 1 5/8. I've just got to get myself, there we go, 1 5/8 inch. There we go, that's better. So it kind of has a bigger bit there. So this is for the front piece, like that. And then for the inside, we're gonna do 4 inches by 7.5. So I gotta make sure I've got 7.5 of this scrap. Oh, good. And then 4 inches. Okay. And this one gets scored at 3.5. And so this is going to, this is such an interesting card. The inside pattern that we want to show, we fold into itself. And then this is going to glue to the edge of that. And it's going to hang over a little bit like this. So let's put that together. Okay, so we have trying to think. Okay, I can do, I was worried about doing too much adhesive. I can do adhesive all the way to the score line, but not after the score line. So when you're putting adhesive on, it can go on the back of the front piece. And then, is this making sense? So we have a front piece, and then this one is folded in on itself, and we're gluing the ends together, the front ends. For this, we need, we're not going to do a whole card. We're just going to do a card front. So we're going to cut it in half. It's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And I will add all the measurements for you to the video description when we're done. Okay, so this is going to fit on there like this. And that's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to just trim. Okay. We are going to use some tear and tape to add to the back of the top. Yeah, okay, so that whole piece is going to be loose. We're only going to have adhesive on the back of that front piece. Hopefully this is still making sense. Okay, we're going to center this. Should take up the whole card. And now this piece is loose, and so when you pull it, it opens up. I think we just need to pre-fold on our line there, that score line there. If you want to give it a little tab, I just noticed that Terry's got that on there. I like that. So we can add a little circle. I'm going to use my little 1 3/4 inch. This just kind of gives a natural place for your finger to grab that and pull. Okay, so now we get to do the fun part, the decorating. For the inside, we've got 2 white pieces that are going to go here and here. So let's, and actually, if we wanted to, we can just do 1. We should do some clouds. Should we die cut or stamp the clouds? Let's get some measurements on these white pieces. Okay, so the top one is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm betting the bottom one is the same, 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Yes, so you're going to need 2 white ones that are the same. Three 3/4 by 3 1/4. Oh, thank you for the reminder, Judy. If you are enjoying the video tonight, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. That helps other people find it, and it just makes my day. It makes me happy, and it helps out my channel. Okay, so we were deciding if we wanted to die cut clouds or if we just want to stamp clouds. And I feel like we could go either way. We also need to decide what we're going to do on the front. Are we going to do a little stamping? Little airplane? Maybe the medium one. With a boho blue circle. Yes. I'm going to miss boho blue. Have I said that already? I think I have, but I'll say it again. I'm gonna miss it. Okay, for the inside piece, we'll do some more clouds. For the front, we could do flying by to say hi and you're the best, plain and simple. And we're gonna do we'll do a little bit of coloring, a smidge. That's gonna have to do it today. All right, let's get out some boho blue. Let's get out some Night of Navy. This card. Oh, I got a little bit like that. Let's try again on the other side. Don't stamp so hard, Julie. This will go on top, and on the bottom, we'll do some clouds. We'll do Night of Navy. And we'll do a little airplane up here. We'll add some color to it. And we're also going to stamp this one and do a little coloring. And we'll die cut that to go on the front. And also for the front, flying by to say hi. Okay. All the things, all the things. We gotta use a little copper clay and some gray granite. You know what I like to use for these is the watercolor pencils. Let's bust out some of these. Now I've got some old assortments, and we've got 2 assortments, but mine might be slightly different just because I haven't replaced mine at all. I like the watercolor pencils on these planes because it really coordinates with the way that the designer paper has kind of some sketchy sort of color. So the colors don't match up exactly. I'm using Cajun Craze and some basic gray instead of the gray granite, but it's going to be close enough. And this has a little bit of the navy in it too, so we can bring in some of that navy. Let's see. Yeah, navy. Just kind of some sketchy color there. Center. We'll put some on the wheels. And let's color that airplane here too, the same way. Just some quick sketchy color with the pencils. If you like more of a watercolor look, you could use blender pens to add and blend the marker or the colored pencils for a little bit more of a like a blended, more uniform kind of look. But like I said, I think that this style with the colored pencils matches really well with the designer paper. Don't you think? You could use the blends, or you could watercolor with the ink pad. All right, on this one, I'm gonna do some die cutting really quick. So let's get out our little mini machine. I think Night of Navy went in here, Cajun Praise went in here. Little Miss, and we got dies to die cut all the planes and the clouds, and then some detail dies as well. So if you love the look of the airplane, make sure you get both the stamps and the dies for this one. And I just don't understand why they have the paper and not the stamps. Like, why would you not want to have coordinating stamps with the paper? I think the boho blue is gone, but when I checked, and I did check right before I came on, the assorted in color cardstock is still available. So if you still want some boho blue, there's still a way to get it as part of the assortment paper pack. All right. Oh, I like the way this is coming together. It's kind of like, I'd say a little simple, in its embellishments, but, it's the fun fold that really makes this card so fun. So we're going to have those white panels here. What is that? Oh, I don't know where my eraser went to. And this one is going to go towards the top. There is room at the bottom because when the card is closed, you get a little bit of that blue tab there. Okay, and then we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals here. Thank you so much to Terry Biggs for her inspiration with the Burger Bistro stamp set. Oops, I didn't have the burgers, so I had to kind of mix it up and do something different. But as I always say, you could do the same card with any stamps and any designer paper you have at home. So I hope that you'll give it a try. Here's this little designer paper flip card, and it really is so very easy. Tell me what you think about this one. Thank you again to Terry for her inspiration. Here's her original card with the burgers. I think it's so much fun. So Adventurous Sky, here's that stamp set, is the one that I used for my card. Now, all the things I used tonight are all retiring. It's so sad that we have to say goodbye to some of our favorites, but it's time. Maybe we should we add a few dots to this one? I don't know if I like the dots. I'm going to take them off. I feel like they kind of take away. Maybe I'll leave that one on. They kind of take away from the card a little bit. I'm going to do the darker one in the middle. There. All right, well, tonight we made 3 projects. If you're joining late, you might have to watch the replay a little bit. We made the flap card, the flip flap card with the Adventurous Sky suite. We also used the keeping tabs to create a clean and simple card inspired by the catalog. And our big project of the night was this one, which was using the Country Birdhouse and Country Flowers, Country Birdhouse, Country Flowers, another project that we cased from the catalog. I hope that you enjoyed all 3 projects tonight, and the bonus sneak peek at the kits as well. Thank you so much for stamping with me tonight. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future card making videos. This weekend, Mom and I are going to be together. I'm so excited. In fact, I need to clean my house. So I've got to clean up my stamp area and then do some house cleaning tomorrow. She and Dad are both coming for the weekend. We are doing an event in Peoria that's Stampin' Up. DDM Shannon West is hosting, so I'm really excited. But that means we get to stamp together in person, and so we are stamping for Sunday stamping. We're going to film Sunday stamping in person. We're going to film tomorrow for Sunday, so be sure you tune in at noon on Sunday. We are featuring some different bundles that you can get right now in the online exclusives that came out last month in March. So be sure to tune in Sunday stamping at noon on my channel at 12:30 on Mom's. So subscribe to both our channels so you don't miss out on those videos. And you have just a couple more days if you would like to get the In Color Dots for free. Order $40 or more from my online store at juliedavison.com/shop. Use the host code for the very last time. The host codes are going away and will no longer be able to be used after Saturday. So HQ9NET9S is the last host code ever, for me anyway, and the last of the host codes altogether. All right, you guys, have a fabulous night, and thank you again for joining me. I always love stamping with you and getting your input and being creative together. So I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I will see you again very soon. Bye, everybody.